Hey guys, and welcome back for another episode of Tell Victoria's Secret. I have a special guest with me here today, Pemba. He is a nightlife professional here in San Diego, and he's coming on to tell his story about the challenges that come up when you're dating as a nightlife professional. So, talking through some of those things and his healing journey and kind of how he navigates that. So, thank you for joining us
Well,
today.
thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So I want to hear. I feel like I already know like probably some of the challenges related to dating as a nightlife professional because I'm guilty. Like I wouldn't want to date a nightlife professional personally,
Mm,
so I get it, but like want to hear it from the mouth of the babes.
no, I think we just misunderstood. I think like what they call like a VIP host. A lot of times, instead of people saying VIP host, girls will say VIP host. So
Ooh.
there's like that emphasis in there, but trying to find that balance between understanding work and life. A lot of
Mhm.
times people would like put those two worlds together, like what they see on Instagram or when they see you around a lot of girls, they just assume that you are a host.
Uh-huh.
But in reality, is like that's part of the job. That's
Right.
part of the job, like entertaining people, whoever is in town. If you have a bachelorette group in San Diego, you're not gonna
Right.
stay away from that. Like, yeah, they want mimosas, you
That's your
there. They
money,
want to
that's
go
your
to the club,
bag.
you there.
Mhm.
So as a result, of course, you're gonna be surrounded by a lot of people or a lot of women, but it comes with time also. Like, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. Like in the beginning, it's fun
Mhm.
because yeah, it's a lot of pretty girls and you're new to it. But with time, you kind of get better at separating work and real life,
Mhm.
entertaining people for nightlife, and actually having relationships outside of the nightlife. Because, like, now I'm in a place where I prefer to hang out with people that are not in nightlife. So that way, like, both of those worlds can separate. Where I'm
Mm.
downtown, I'm at work, it's easier to understand, like, hey, I'm at work. And then when I'm outside of work, I want to hang out with people that are not in nightlife. So that way, you are able to separate those worlds, but then also like your following or everybody that kind of watches you, they're able to see those two things.
Mhm.
Because I feel like that's where the confusion comes. Is if I see a story like 7 days a week and it looks like you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out, I'm not gonna think like, oh, he's networking or he's doing things, right? So I feel like that's the main thing is like once you're able to separate those two roles, it helps.
Yeah, 100%. I have so many questions. So, how long have you been in the nightlife for? Like, when did you start?
I been in nightlife for like 4 or 5 years, and it was by accident. Because realistically speaking, what I did or the original plan was I helped people like open restaurants and things
Okay.
like that, and I help people with like online presence, right?
Mhm.
Restaurants and things like this. And then for those who knew me back in the days when I first moved to San Diego, is I was working at a restaurant named Sevilla,
I know Sevilla.
helping them
Yeah.
like get their online presence organized and things like that as far as marketing. But because they had a club downstairs, just like, hey,
So you
do
just kind of
you
fell into
want to
it.
help us with the club downstairs as well? I should have said no. I mean, I don't mind, but I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, why not? So then I went from Sevilla to the Hard Rock. From Hard Rock, now I'm a Park, which is the biggest club in San Diego. But I mean, I like what I do, especially working at Park, just because of the fact that we do different events. It's not just like nightclub
Yeah.
in a sense, but I
I
should have
actually
said no to
almost booked my
Sevilla,
corporate holiday party with Park a
right?
couple
So
years
that's
ago.
the
Yeah.
part that I feel like people don't understand, that this is an actual job. It's
Yeah.
not just like me and my friends
Yeah.
hanging out and having drinks. It's like a real like it's a business that we are trying to run,
Yeah.
but also trying to be very, very mindful that it's a business that also comes with a lot of attachments that
Mhm.
as you get better at it or as you get older, you start to understand like how to try to navigate in that
Right.
environment.
So your background, is it in marketing? Did you go to school for that?
Yes. So my background is in political science and communication.
Okay.
So the original plan was to basically do our own political campaign and stuff. I went to Nevada. So when I graduated, I went to school in Fresno. So when
Where are you from, actually? Let's start there.
I was born in Angola, but I'm from Belgium. So I was
Okay.
born in
Wow.
Angola, and then we relocated to Belgium. So my whole family is based in Belgium and Germany, but I'm here originally, for studies and you
Right.
know stuck.
Foreign exchange student.
Yeah, you're like, hey, I'm going there to study, and then they're like, why are you doing at the clubs? Like, I'm learning, so I'm still in the process of like learning. Of course, like I want to learn
Yeah.
how not just nightclub, but just want to learn how like a business works. I want to learn how
Yeah.
social events and all those things. So I still feel like even though I'm working, I'm still like learning, and I work with like a lot of great individuals that been doing this for a very, very, very long time. So that kind of allows me to like learn like I've been in San Diego for 5 years, but I feel like right now I have a bigger clientele than some people that have been here like their whole lives. And
Mm-hmm.
part of that is because of the fact that the people that I'm able to like work with, or the people that I've been able to like cross paths with
Mm-hmm.
throughout the last 4 or 5 years. But I didn't really like start taking it seriously until the past 2 3 years. I literally started doing like nightlife full time.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like I kind of derailed you a little bit because you were starting to tell me what the original plan was.
oh,
And then,
so,
yeah.
so my mom is gonna watch this and be like, uh-huh. So no, so the original plan was to do political campaigning. I did a couple internships and things like that,
Uh-huh.
and I liked it. And then I received an offer for a job in Nevada. It was a paid internship, basically, right, to help with a campaign. So I moved to Nevada. Mind you, I don't know anybody there. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go here. I'm gonna be on the table, strategizing, making decisions, and all that. And then I get there, and it's like 15 of us with the same title. And
Mm.
I'm like, okay, cool. I thought it was just gonna be me, but
Yeah.
that's fine. Like, cool.
Welcome to the
I'm
real
like,
world.
they're like, they having a meeting there. They have all of us waiting. And I'm like, wait, I thought I was gonna be like,
Yeah.
I went to private school, like I was a pretty decent student, so I just assumed. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, no, 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 you guys gotta start here, and then you eventually you get where I thought in my head, because I went to school and I speak all these languages and I do this. I'm like, they're
This
like,
is why people think millennials are entitled because
no,
of
no, no, it's
you.
not
That mentality.
entitlement. It's the fact that, and then the way that they worded it, they
Yeah.
made it seem like they really wanted you to come help. So
Yeah.
I took that as like, yo, like,
It's
oh,
called recruitment
okay. So I'm
101.
like, okay, like I get there and they fed us pizza. I think more than
They got you with the
anything,
food.
what really, really made me want to quit politics was pizza. They fed us pizza for 4 straight weeks at 12 o'clock, and it was the same pizza from the same place.
Mm.
Okay, so after a while, I'm
I'm gonna
like,
need you to silence your
oh yeah,
phone, Mr.
that's my
Man.
phone. Like,
Yeah.
like so, imagine having pizza right from the same places at the same time every day. And I hate not I don't hate routine, but I hate feeling like I'm doing the same thing
Hmm.
every day.
Yeah, you needed
Or
that difference.
I like different, not different challenges necessarily, but I just like different. I don't like I can't do the same thing every day at the same time at the same place
Yeah.
with the same people. I get bored, or I just get disinterested in whatever it
So that's
was.
probably one of the things that attracted you to getting into the nightlife, I'm
Yeah, I
assuming.
feel like that because, it's the same thing as far as like it's the same venue. But if you notice with Park, is like sometimes we have like Latin events, we have hip hop events, we have EDM events. We
Hmm.
had a DJ from Dubai, like not recently. So it's always different. And then you never know who's gonna come. Sometimes you get some friends that come that are very like chill, and then
Hmm.
you get some friends that come into town that don't want to leave. And then you get so it's always different and it's always interesting. And then it's so many people that work there, so you always feel like excited to come in and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the follow-up would be like, what do you see for your future? And do you see staying in the nightlife? Like, what do you like about it? And like, what's maybe the 5-year plan?
I think the 5 year plan is up, so I gotta go home eventually. So
Mm,
I feel like the past 5 years, of course, like I've had the chance to work and kind of learn and things like that. Now I'm in that phase. I have some nephews from Belgium, so I had my nephews come visit, kind of like to see how they like it here,
yeah.
if they want to come study here. If they come study here, then that kind of extends my stay. But if not, then it's
How does
time
that
to go
work?
home, huh?
How does that work?
My finances and their finances are intertwined.
Oh,
So
okay.
I either have to go there
Got
or they
it.
have to come here.
Okay.
So now I'm at a place where I'm like, personally, if I had a choice,
Now look who's trying to recruit.
all right,
You
I would
better
be
start
like,
buying them
no, no, no.
pizza.
So that's what we did. We brought them here and they had a good time. But I want them to come here and study and, because realistically speaking, like Europe is great to visit and stuff like that. But I feel like living in San Diego is probably like, as far as like lifestyle, is like one of the better lives like you can
Really,
have.
I've been thinking about moving to Europe recently.
I feel like you can go to Europe for like a summer, you can go to Europe for like a year. But
Yeah.
like outside of that, I feel like California in general is one of the better places to live in the world.
Also really expensive.
Yeah, but then
Hmm.
we also get paid like well,
Yeah.
right? As long as you don't live outside of your means, I
Hmm.
feel like you'll find in California.
Yeah.
But a lot of times
People live outside of their means.
because yeah, but that's because of how much we are influenced by
Yeah.
everything around us.
Right.
You can live in California and be a regular guy, but
Yeah.
every guy in California doesn't want to be a regular guy, even though they have regular income. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's where
Well,
people
I
get
mean,
caught
you
up a
probably
lot
see
of
this
times.
more than ever, but like the amount of guys that are popping bottles in the club, but like have roommates at home or like have debt.
Yeah,
And like
but
they're living outside of their means because they have no business probably popping bottles.
no, I think also like when it comes to popping bottles, you can do it responsibly. Like if you're celebrating, I mean, if you're celebrating a birthday, yes. If you're celebrating a divorce, yes.
But let's
If
be
it's
real,
not a lifestyle,
that's not what
right?
we see all the time.
No,
What we
when
see is like the same people in the same places every weekend popping bottles just because they want to like pull girls that way. Let's keep it
yeah,
real.
but here's the thing,
I'm gonna
right?
challenge
For me,
you.
right? Like the way that I see it is this, right? If nightlife is your lifestyle because that's what you do for a living, or
Uh-huh.
somehow it benefits your businesses, right? Because there are people that benefit from going out, right?
Hmm.
You meet people, you network. Like, yes, you spend a couple $1,000, but what you got in value is contacts, right? Because even for me, like, I've gotten a chance to be in certain rooms that I wouldn't be in if it wasn't for nightlife, right?
Hmm.
And I feel like as a business owner, you can go out and party responsibly. You can go out, party, and keep your eye open for opportunities. But it's just like when that becomes your lifestyle, where you're just like, yo, girls,
I can't wait to meet
drinks,
somebody to hear where that
things
actually worked for
like
them because
that.
I originally thought that that would like work for me,
Yeah,
but like my experience because I have 3 businesses of my own, so I'm like,
yeah,
oh, that's what I convinced myself during the pandemic when I launched my company. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, it's 2020, July 2020, like things were starting to open back up. I'm like, oh, let me get out there, get the word out there
You
about my
gotta come
business.
early. You gotta come to the club early.
I
Like,
like I came out one time when like 50 Cent was performing and I had my business card in my pocket and I literally I he to this day, I mean he probably doesn't have it anymore, but like I handed him my card and he took it, he put it in his pocket and I'm like, "Oh, I justify going out that night cuz I'm
yeah,
like, "Oh, I might bag 50 as a client, you know?"
yeah.
But it's never worked out that way. And I'm not saying that it can't, but it's like in my experience, it's been that you get in the club, everyone's like, either drunk or on
Yeah,
something.
you come late. You gotta come
They
early.
forget. Well, nobody gets to the club early,
If you're
Al.
on a network, you gotta be at the club at like 10.
Nobody gets to the club at 10. You go be there, it's gonna be empty.
No, but
Empty. The people that you want to meet are the people that are getting there 11, 12 o'clock because those
yeah.
are the ones that are buying
Because
tables.
sometimes we do have people that like taking out their whole staff, or they
Yeah.
met someone in real estate. They're like, hey, I might be at
But like
park
I
tonight.
also want to address the elephant in the room though, because
Elephant in the
it's like
room.
the elephant in the room is like as a woman in business,
Uh huh.
right? It's like let's say I want to meet that big fish client that's buying the table, and that's my goal. But while he's there buying the table and he sees an attractive woman that is dressed in a maybe, a club attire dress, which might be a little bit more provocative because I got to dress the part where I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm already putting in his idea, oh, this might be a
She's
girl
here
I'm
to.
trying to take home with tonight. And then when I don't meet what it is he's looking for, he's not going to talk to me about business. His mind is on something completely different. So then I have to either play the role and act the part and make him believe that I'm interested in him, and then do a whoop de whoop on him later and be like, oh,
The next day.
actually, like
I
not
have a
even the next
business that I
day. Like
run.
I would never like go home with someone and then no, it's like that's not my style. But I'm just saying, like, flirt with him to act like I'm interested, get his number, and then
And then
maybe a
next
day
time
or
you guys
two
talk,
be
it's
like,
like
oh, let's meet for a
coffee.
business meeting. And
Yeah.
and I've tried that in the past, and it's backfired every time because they're not
Yeah.
interested in that.
Because I feel like, huh, as a, or
It's
is he on the
licking your
mic?
ears.
He said, who's in here? Say something. No, but that's definitely true. But I do feel like you can go out without making that like a lifestyle. Like you can go out, like when you go out to celebrate, when you go out with friends, when there's
Oh
an
yeah,
occasion. Yes, that's totally,
that's pretty much the way that I do it now. I mean, don't
yeah.
get me wrong. I live in San Diego. Like when I first moved here in 2015, I was fresh out of a 5-year relationship.
Five?
five
That's
years.
marriage.
Yeah, I mean that's where it was headed, and that's the reason why it ended because I got cold feet. I'm like, this isn't the right one.
Mm.
Showed a lot of red flags, and so when I first moved here, I just wanted to do my own thing. Like Teddy, you were so loud. I just wanted to do my own
Teddy's the
thing.
main character.
I just wanted to, feel like I was playing catch up on my young 20s. I went out all the time. I partied. I made a lot of friends in the nightlife. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty much how I met you, is just through mutuals in the nightlife. So many people thought I worked in the nightlife, but ultimately, at some point I feel like people do outgrow that scene if you're
Yeah.
not working in it, because it is the same people, the same places. And eventually when you mature, and especially if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, like your priority shifts. Like you're now spending, all nighters working on your business. I just told you
Instead of,
last night I
yeah.
got 4 hours of sleep because I did a 24-hour turnaround on a podcast with my team to pivot for another idea. So I mean, you kind of you as you grow and evolve, you want to change those priorities, which I think brings us into the main reason why you're really here, which, it's great that you were able to give that insight into, your career, how you got to what you're doing now, why you're good at it, what you like about it. But let's talk more about the challenges in dating. So, like, what has been your dating experience? Have you had any long-term relationships since you've lived here? What is it that you're looking for from a relationship? And, what is your goal?
I think as far as like dating, like my first and main goal is anything like outside of Gas Lamp is
Yeah.
like a plus. Anything like outside of nightlife is a definitely. I've never really been the type to date. Like I'll go on dates. Like don't get me wrong. Like I enjoy, going to nice restaurants, what we call feedings.
Hmm.
I don't mind that. Like as far as like, hey, let's go grab dinner or let's grab coffee and things like that. But I have just never been in a situation where I felt like I'm dating someone or I'm building with someone just for the simple fact that like one, I don't plan on being here long, or at least in my head, I wasn't really sure exactly how long I was
Hmm.
gonna be here. So whenever I entertained someone in the past, it was never past that. Like as far as like, okay, we're having fun
See,
or
that's interesting. So I want to like unpack that a little bit more. So if your intention was never really to have anything serious with someone because of that, can you really attribute you not having the challenges in dating 100% to the nightlife?
well,
Because I actually
it's
know quite a few
nightlife.
people in nightlife that are like married or like engaged and
Yes, and I do have like when I first started working at Park, we did have like hosts that had girlfriends or hosts that were engaged. We did have staff that were married, right? But when I first got to San Diego, mind you, just graduated college, I'm on the fan stage, living downtown. So from the get go, it was very different. But in my head, I was very aware of what this was,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if you check my phone from Monday to Thursday, I get outside of like my friends, family, and things like that. Maybe I get like 2 texts or 3 texts from girls.
Mm-hmm.
But if you check my phone from Thursday to Sunday, you're talking about 50 to
Mm.
60, right?
Well, yeah,
So
you're a
you,
host, so
no,
people,
so that's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
you understand that, like, okay, people are not hitting you up because they want to hang out, right? People are hitting you up because you provide a service, you
Mm-hmm.
provide access, they want to make plans and things like that. So that I had that figured out like in the very, very beginning.
Right.
But what I did not figure out or what I did not have down, which also got me into a lot of trouble and a lot of bad reputation as a host, right?
You shit where you slept.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Is
I was
knowing.
gonna see if you were gonna own up to that or
No, no,
not.
no. It's like knowing. No, but this is not today. This is
Right.
dreads L. This
Yeah.
is glasses L.
Yeah, this is
This
when
is
I
a
first met
whole
you.
different phase, and
Because you know what's coming next,
I'm
right?
in a different space now, right? I'm in a different space now where
I
I
could see the
know when
change.
to go home,
Yeah.
and that's really like because I don't get in trouble at the club. You know, there
Yeah.
is security there, there is management there, there's bosses there, there's people to tell you like, hey, you've had a little too many, like you got
Mm,
things to do, you have a whole
right.
operation to like run, so you kind of like in work, right?
Right.
A lot of times you get in trouble after the club, right? Oh, let's go
Mm,
to so and so's house. Oh, let's go over here. Let's so understanding like, hey, I gotta go home.
yeah.
Like I'm off the clock.
Mm-hmm.
I go home.
That's how
Now,
you
if you call
separate the
me
business and
within
personal.
business hours, I am available. Whatever you need, anything you need, as far as if it relates to work, I'm there. But if you're calling me 3 o'clock and the club's been closed for an hour, if you're not like a personal friend or someone within our circle, like no, I don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
around that because if you're someone within our circle, we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody there's on the same page. We can party, we can do whatever, but we're all friends.
Didn't I ask you to turn your phone off?
I thought I did. Silent mode. Boom. Ah, see?
Okay.
Silent mode on.
This is what
Oh,
happens
I
when you
turned
bring
it
a
off.
VIP host
Right?
onto
No, no, that was a
3 times I
no, no,
asked
that was
him.
a WhatsApp notification. I don't know what that went through. So once I understood that, like as far as like I hang out with the same crowd of people that as far as like my friends, and they are never misled because one they understand what you know the relationship is, and then I hang out with the same group of guys that kind of understand like, okay, this is work, this is
Yeah.
life.
No, I get
So
it.
once I separated those two things,
Yeah,
I don't
totally.
have to deal with, oh, so and so said, so and so said. You're trying to talk to somebody, and the worst is when somebody repeats your name to you. Is the worst when you meet someone and they're like, you L, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then you're like, that could mean a million things.
Ah,
Like,
speaking of which, this is a perfect segue into what I have to say next, because you know you weren't going to get off
no, no, no,
scot
no, no, no,
free.
no, no.
But I
It's
think I think this is honestly the perfect setup for it, because you sitting here today, you are a very different person. Like, I met you back 2020. Um, Definitely try to shoot your shot with me, but what you did, I knew that you had been dating or intimate with or involved with in whatever way with one of my girlfriends, and I was like, oh,
Teddy.
sisters before misters, we don't do that.
That's the
And
thing.
I pulled the boundary right there, and we've been friends ever since. But that being said, it's like that is I think like a big thing that needs to be talked about that doesn't
Mm,
get talked about enough is that we should not be crucified for things, for decisions that we've made in our past. Like, people are who they are, and they need to grow and they need to evolve. And who I was at 26 years old in 2015 when I first moved here to San Diego is vastly different than who I am, almost, well, actually 10 years later. I'm
10,
36 now,
you beat me by 5.
yeah. So, I've been here for, it'll be almost 9 years in
Yeah.
October, and I'm a very different person. I partied every day when I first moved here, and like now I barely ever go out. I don't even leave my couch.
You're like
So,
nope.
you've changed the haircut. You've changed
I
the
miss that
lifestyle
hair.
after the club, and you're getting older and your priorities are shifting, like what we were talking about. So it's only natural, like as a man grows up and matures and steps into his true masculinity and his purpose, it's natural he's going to want to find a wife and some like a real partner, someone that he can connect with. And so I guess the next question is like, what are you doing to position yourself for that?
Um, Other than packing my bags because you can't date in San Diego.
I mean, that's a mindset, right? Like I
No,
hear what you're saying and I could say the same thing, but what words have power, and the more that we say those things, the more we attract
no,
that to
that's
us.
definitely a joke.
Yeah.
I think that the other day I posted something on Instagram. This is funny. So I posted, I said, your soulmate is not in San Diego, right?
Yeah, I saw that. I
And
saw what
then
said LA and you crossed it out and put San Diego.
literally, like, I was just reading, like, everybody, just the girls, like, why you say that? The guys are like, definitely not. They're all for the streets. And I'm just reading, I'm just reading, I'm just reading, I'm just reading. And then one of my friends, I think he's recently like engaged. Like, that's the only comment that stood out to me. He was like, your girlfriend is, he said, you forgot, wait, you misspelled the word San Diego and nightlife. Oh, no, and the club. He said
Mm,
like something along the line like, your girlfriend is not, your soulmate is not in the club,
in the club.
right?
Yeah.
And then I
I've
don't
heard
mean,
about a lot of people that have actually met in the club though. I think
yeah,
you're
and then that's the thing. I don't mean like your girlfriend is not in the club, as far as like your girlfriend or your soulmate is not somebody that goes to the club, but there's a difference between someone that goes to the club and then someone that leaves that lifestyle. So what he
right.
meant is basically like, your girlfriend is not these girls that go out 7 days a week and
Right.
they're at every yacht, they're at every
Right.
penthouse,
Right.
they're at every dinner story.
Mhm.
So that's not
I can attest to that because, I was that girl like years ago. I was out all the
every
time.
story.
Yeah. Yeah. In every story, at every event, I couldn't sit my ass still.
Mm,
And I wasn't in a place of wanting to have a committed relationship. And I maybe thought that I was, but like I knew I wasn't. Like I was, like I said, fresh out of a 5 year relationship and just
yeah,
wanting
that
to
ain't it.
have fun because I felt like I was playing wife before I actually was one. So
Yeah,
like now where I'm at in my life right now, I'm in a very different mindset and feel like I'm prepared for a healthy relationship like that.
yeah,
So I wouldn't disagree with that, but I would say this, like I have friends back on the East Coast, Jersey and New York. I got a really close sorority sister in Texas. I mean, all over the place. And I promise you, in every single major city throughout the country, people say the same thing about their city.
yeah.
So I think it's just people
So
love
it's
to
not a San
complain.
Diego problem.
The thing is, yeah, because the truth of the matter, the reality is that humanity in general, like we were built for love and connection. Like we all have that innate desire to love and be loved and to have that connection with someone. And so, some people might mask it because they feel like they can't find it and they're like, I don't want to be with anybody. I'm single. But it's like,
I'm single.
yeah, I'm single and I'm mingling, but it's like we all want that. We all do. Like it's within our DNA. We are wired to be like that. There are a very small percentage, I think it might be like a 1% of the
Mhm.
population that are built, something is built within them genetically where they're actually categorized as asexual, meaning that they don't have an attraction to anyone or anything.
Oh,
And it's like, but it's like a maybe 1%
1%.
or less.
That's a lot.
It's like, and so that just goes to show you, like, I mean, even with same sex couples, like they have an innate desire to connect. It might not be with the opposite sex, but they still want their life partner. So it's only normal and natural that we're going out to try to meet people in these places. And I think that's been the challenge for me now. And I talked about this recently when I had a birthday come up. My birthday just passed earlier this month, and historically every single year since I've lived here, especially with all the connections I've had in the nightlife, my friends hit me up. They're like, "You want to do a table?" I get
Here,
I get a
here.
comp table, I get a comp dinner. Darian from Oxford hit me up. He's like,
My
"I'll
guy.
I'll do a cutout for you. I'll do a girls' dinner. I'll do a table." TJ hit me up. He's like, "Candy shop. I got you on everything." And I was just like, y'all, I love you guys, but
but
like I'm not on that this year.
not
Like
right
this
now.
year I'm
So
on a wholesome tip and I really just want to do bonfires and
mm,
barbecues and cookouts and like the other things that where you can have those
outside.
meaningful connections and conversations, like
Mm.
those kind of situations is what I'm craving. And I think this is another thing that doesn't get talked about enough in San Diego is we have such a liquid city here. Like everyone drinks here, like morning, noon, night. Like you got breakfast mimosas, you got brunch, and then you got like dinner and in the nighttime throughout the entire night. Coming from Jersey, where I grew up, you can only get alcohol at the liquor store. They don't sell it
Oh,
in convenience stores. They don't sell it in grocery stores, and the liquor stores close at 10 o'clock. So that's
after
it,
10, you're done.
you're done. And
Ouch.
so when I moved here to San Diego, the amount of people that I saw that suffer from a drinking problem that aren't even aware of it because it's
Drinking
just so
solution.
normal. It's so normal to them. It's so accepted.
Mm.
And it's almost encouraged where it's like now here I am, kind of reverting back to my roots and my upbringing and like not wanting to drink, not wanting to party, not wanting to go out to do those, game nights, like things to connect with people on those deeper levels. And I'm like, where are the people that want to do those things? Where are the opportunities to go out with friends where it doesn't
Out.
require partying and
No,
drinking?
but that's where I realized that a lot of my friends or a lot of people that I met in San Diego, I met downtown.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started making effort to meet people outside of downtown, right? Because
I want to ask
San
you about that.
Diego
Where are you meeting
is
people outside of the nightlife in downtown and even out of like maybe out of town, like out of San Diego? You know what I mean?
because
Like,
San Diego is a very diverse city, right? Like, but it's because of the people that we surround ourselves with in downtown that we are usually in those circles, drinking, partying, and things like that. So sometimes I do meet people that are in the club, but it's just like that's not their lifestyle. Like I had someone invite me to go um, 5 a.m. Like, hey, bro, you want to get in the water? I'm like, 5 a.m. No, that's too far. Like I'm not
yeah,
going. That's
right,
extreme.
right, right.
But I do make like a conscious effort to meet people that are not of my like or are not in my circle, so that way they can encourage me to go do something in La Jolla, encourage me to go do something in Chula Vista, because downtown and PB are like the two places where you go to PB to go to the beach, you're drinking the whole day. You come downtown for dinner. After dinner, you end up at a bar. After bar, you end up at a club somewhere. So actually making the effort to be like, no, 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 no. Let me go hang out with my friends from over there where there's like no
Man, I'm down to go to La
alcohol
Jolla with
involved.
you. We
For
could
my
we could wing
birthday,
woman, wingman each other.
for my birthday, I didn't even celebrate my birthday in San Diego. I think like I did a yacht party, but then after that I just left because for the past 2 years, my birthday I blacked out like from Thursday to Sunday because it's like
Mm.
this club wants to have an event, this club wants to have an event, this club wants to have an event. I mean, it's good because like the whole time like everybody takes care of me and they pay me for it, but it's like 5 days of like
And I'll tell you what, no
nonstop.
girl likes a man who's blacked out.
No, nah, no girl likes the guy that's sloppy.
That's right.
No.
That's
So
right.
from that, like just adjusting, and it's also like it's better because now physically I feel a lot better. Like mentally is less. Only having to text one girl back, it's
I
amazing.
think that's what everybody aspires to have, right?
Right? So
That's
it's
what everybody
amazing. So I mean,
aspires.
at least that's where I'm at now, where I much rather like hang out with my little, you know, well, in my
So
little.
where is Elle right now? Is Elle
Right.
currently involved with someone seriously
No,
or
like right now, like I'm just figuring it out. Obviously, like I'm talking to one person,
Mhm.
and it's nothing like what we used to, where it's like, like
So this
usually.
was some like a history person that's kind of come back in the picture now that
No, no,
you're
no. This is
oh,
definitely like
a new
not
person.
downtown. This is like
This is like new person in
this is
your
like
life.
a college girl with 15 jobs and
Okay.
drinks water, goes to the gym, and
So she doesn't know the
totally.
old version of
No, no, no,
Elle.
no. Of course, she knows me. She knows what I do and things of that nature.
No,
But
I said the old version of Elle.
oh no, no,
She
no, no,
knows
no,
this
no,
new version of
no.
you.
Yeah, this new version of me. That old version of me, I don't think would have crossed paths because
Yeah.
even me looking back now, I'm like, yo, that was reckless. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But see, the problem is this, right? Also, like I feel like this is also what I realized just hanging out with people that are older than me and people that have done this is sometimes as a friend, if your friend is wrong or if your friend is like doing something that you don't necessarily agree with, or if you think like, yo, bro, we've been going hard for like 7 days, like we need to chill. Like you need people in your life that'll tell you like
Accountability. Mm-hmm.
chill, right? Because but you know, it's easy to just think like, yo, you can do that for yourself. That's
Mm-hmm.
true. But also like just being surrounded by people that can tell you like,
Yeah.
bro, like you're gonna go out, it's Tuesday. You're
Right.
right. Or hey, bro, like what y'all doing? Like, you know,
Yeah.
bro, you talking to this girl and that girl and that girl. Like you need those people because sometimes as the person in the situation, you don't really realize it, right? Because if I have like 4, 5, 6 girls in my DMs, I don't have to reply, right? But sometimes in the moment, you're just like, why not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're wasting their time and you're wasting your own time. But in your head, you're just like, we're just having fun. But that's actually somebody's feelings you are
Mm-hmm.
hurting. That's
So you feel
somebody's.
like you have that network now of people that hold
Yeah,
you
now I have a
accountable?
balance where
That's good.
like the people that I'm around during the week and the people that I'm around during the weekend
Mm-hmm.
are two different
Right.
groups. The people that I talk to when I'm working and the people that I'm talking to when I'm outside of the clock, two very different
Yeah.
people. Now, do those words like intertwine like every now and then? Like, oh yeah, we
Yeah.
had a dinner. Some of my friends from work, some of my friends from my real life come. I mean, both lives are real, but some
Mm-hmm.
friends from work, some friends, yeah, they collide and things like that. But it's just like being conscious. And also like my nephew's coming here. I don't want them to come here and just be like, oh, San Diego's all about partying. And no,
Yeah.
I
You
want them
want
to
to show
understand
them
like, yeah,
different.
there's nothing wrong. Like, you know, you work your 9 to 5 the whole week. You want to go have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. It's your birthday. You want to go pop a bottle. Nothing wrong with that. Now, are we just gonna be out here like turning up and
Yeah.
17 baby mamas? No, like
Mm.
we want to do it responsibly, but we also want to be taken seriously. And then in order for you to be taken seriously in the business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gets to a point where like you have to act, you know,
Different.
accordingly. Like
Yeah.
you can't be out here like turning up and doing all this crazy stuff and
Yeah.
expect to keep a certain level of clientele or
Right.
expect to be considered for certain positions or things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So you just
It
got to be
sounds
mindful.
like you needed to have all these experiences in order to
Yeah.
get you where you are now, which is great.
Yeah, because that's
Um,
another thing too. Like when you come from outside of, because I came here and I was in school right away. Mind you, like in school I had fun, but I was broke in school, right?
yeah.
So it's a different level of like college partying. Because college partying, I went to a private Christian school,
Hmm.
and I'm not gonna lie to you, like we did not have like parties, or the girls did not look like the girls from. I mean, I love Fresno, but you know, like the girls did not look like the girls
Well, in
in San
SoCal,
Diego.
San Diego has a lot
Yeah.
of
So when you go from that
plastic
to like
surgery and
San Diego, you're like,
yeah,
oh, there's a beach, there's a yacht, there's this, there's that, and
right.
you know, there's girls that you don't even know like what race or what color. You're just like, what are you? You know.
Yeah,
So at first you get excited about that, but then eventually you like,
right.
you know, you tone it down a little bit, and
Start to
then
realize what's important.
yeah.
So, well, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear all the growth. I guess what we'll do now is, do you know what's the message you want to leave the listeners with? Like, what do you want the takeaway message to be from this?
Oh, I mean, I just want all my
You're
friends and
getting
everybody
riled
to.
up.
This is my
I'm
friend.
irritated.
No, I think for me, like the biggest, at least the way that I view my job is I get to celebrate my friends' win,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if you at a club popping bottles and doing all that, I hope is because of a good reason. I hope you just made like 20,000
Yeah.
and you closed the deal somewhere and you decided to come out to
Mm-hmm.
celebrate and stuff like that. So, you know, like summer's around the corner. I'm rooting for everybody. I want to see everybody do well, but I want to see everybody do it like responsibly
I
in a
love that.
sense. You know, I just want us
Yeah.
to go
So the
on
takeaway message is to celebrate responsibly, not lose
balance.
track of your purpose in life. It's important to celebrate your wins, but not to lose yourself in the mix of it, and to keep your priorities straight, right?
No,
Healthy
most
life,
definitely.
healthy balance,
No, balance definitely, especially health
everything's a
wise.
balance. Yeah. So not too much alcohol or recreational drugs that will leave a negative impact on your life, but responsibly enjoying life and learning along the way. So I
Growing.
wish you the best of luck in this new relationship that's blossoming for you.
Thank you.
Where can the listeners get in touch with you if they want to book a VIP table or a special experience?
Um, the boy L. If you need a table at park or anywhere
On
downtown,
Instagram, the boy L.
the boy L on Instagram. The park SD for everything park related, and then we also do like yacht rentals, Dave Champagne, and things of that nature. So we just
Shout out to Dave Champagne. He's
yo,
my
shout out to
longest
Dave. Is a legend,
he's
yo.
my longest standing client. He was one of my first clients ever when I launched Executives Extension. Shout out to you, Dave.
Dave is a legend. Let's have a
So,
great summer.
yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for
We're
coming
about to
on the
get
pod
Teddy
with
at the
me.
club. You down?
Lots of love and sparkle.
Later, guys.